is not only a remarkable, successful 30-year titan in business with having multiple businesses that generate multiplied millions of dollars.
And if that plan happens to be to build $1 million company, which I can help you do.
But he's humble. He's a man of God. He's a family man.
The world's news organizations are built on everything but positivity.
He is an influential entrepreneur and business speaker for over 30 years.
I've got to forecast. I've got to pronounce. I've got to project. I've got to share with you my ideas, my vision, my goals for not only myself, but for you.
That's why he came up with his incredible concept of taking and creating a platform for people that are wired differently.
And you got to understand that your habits of your person and your habits of your business and your habits of your spirituality have to lead to the North Star of who you are. We need to figure out who we want to be in life. Good day, good day, good morning, good morning, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. I'm so glad to be back. It seems like about a week, but it's only been 3 days. Anyways, I really want to appreciate you guys. I want you to understand that I took Monday off because I was traveling. I had to get up in the morning, catch a flight, and of course it was delayed. But I just want to tell you how much you encourage me and how exciting it is for me to be on the show again this morning. And I was thinking about you all weekend as I put on an amazing show, an event, if you will, close to 3,000 people at Angola, Indiana. We brought in people from all over to the donut capital of the world, the Wired Differently donut capital of the world. And I want to thank a lot of you for coming to that event. A lot of you show up. A lot of you came to the donut capital of the world to see the party, to dance, and to have a lot of fun. It was complete. It was epic. I got to tell you, God showed up, people showed up, the event was amazing. But what was increasingly more amazing to me is that the Wired Differently people are coming over to the brand Tom's Donuts to see me, to be around my family, to be around some of the success we're having in the Tom's Donuts brand, the donut capital of the world. It's just been it's such a thrill to see the brands, coexisting and collaborating and, and it makes sense because the Wired Differently mentality, the Wired Differently entrepreneurial soul of me, the side of me that really grows the entrepreneurial side of Tom's Donuts, the donut capital world, is really the Wired Differently piece of me. Good morning, good morning, good morning. My heart might just explode. My heart might just explode. I'm talking to you this morning as I was getting ready to leap across the bridge. I felt my heart. It just might explode. It just might shatter into pieces as I began to leap to the other side. Have you ever been in a position where your heart was just going to explode? Well, good morning. My name is Todd Saylor. I'm the author of the book, The Brand and the Attitudinal Disorder, Wired Differently. And a lot of you know me every morning. You're getting to see me from 7:30 to 8 o'clock in the morning. And we're talking about amazing things. We're talking about you. We're talking about you and your life. We're talking about what you can do in your life and how you can actually triangulate the two wills that be done, God's will and your free will. And we put them together and we create this perfect cocktail, right? Well, I'm going to tell you a story about my heart and how it was going to explode at one point. I was so excited. I was almost traumatized by the opportunity. It was almost like put in a position where if you don't go, you could almost die, right? In a position where when you get to a point of something and you realize you just can't turn back. Now, isn't it essential to leave our land of quo? We've talked about that all last week, that we're in this place and we're kind of stuck and we're wallowing around and we have just the same friends and the same ideas and the same car and the same food, same coffee, same old, and we're just kind of staying there because we just don't want to really shake it up too much because we're comfortable. And I get that. But the problem with comfort is comfort is shrinking success. I want you to understand that we have got to leave this status quo, this land of quo, where we aggregate all these things in our life that seem to be the status quo, which end up making up our land of quo. A lot of you gave me your testimonials last week and you were DMing me and texting me and putting them on Facebook of like, I got to jump. I got to get out of the land of quo. And today I just kind of wanted to talk to you about that heart-bursting moment in my life, that heart-bursting moment in your life. And I want you to resonate with this idea that my heart might just explode at any moment. And I need you to understand that I want you in that place. I need you in that place. I need you in a place where you can say at some point in your life, my heart just might explode. And I don't want you to look at that as like you're scared. I just want you to look at it in anticipation. I want you to look at it as an excitement to getting to the other side. I want you to look at it as uh, the excitement of the roller coaster, if you've ever been on a roller coaster, the excitement of going on a family trip, the excitement of maybe getting married, the excitement of launching a new business, right? The excitement of not knowing exactly what's going to happen on the other side, but you know that you've got to go. You know that you have to run. You know that you have to leap. You know that you have to jump. You know that you have to take this risk. And it's so daring, it's so compelling, it's so God driven that your heart might, your heart might just explode because you don't know what's on the other side. You know that it's good. You know that there's grass and water and pasture and all that kind of stuff. You know that it's supposed to be there, but you just don't know it's there until you get there. My heart might just explode. Come on now. Have you been there? I've got to get you there. I want to take you there. I want to go there with you. I mean, everybody's better with a coach. I don't care. Go get a coach, get a helper, get some assistance. Talk to your mom, talk to your dad, talk to somebody who's been there, talk to somebody whose heart has exploded and been amazingly repaired with fruits, right? We're out there. We're people that are getting older in life and been successful in life and have done things. I profess to save ongoing companies as much as $100,000 in less than 45 minutes. I mean, that's something that could be talked about in someone who has history and someone who's been through it and someone who's jumped over a lot of bridges. His heart has exploded time and time and time again and been repaired time and time and time again because the faith of the heart about to explode is actually talked about in Romans 15:4. And just to preface it, it says the words of the past were meant to last. One morning I got up and I told my wife I was going to work out. This is in my third book, Your Will Be Done, and I can't wait for you to read it. It's called The Hook Story. It's the story that jumps off the entire book, and it tells you something about the book. It tells you something about the author. It tells you something more importantly about yourself, because when you read my books, you resonate yourself. You put yourself in my skin. You put yourself in the character skin. You jump right into the book and you say, I can do that. If he did it, I can do it. If Todd can do it, I can do it. I'm a regular dude, but I will tell you this. You've got to be willing to jump. I don't care if you're 7 foot tall. I don't care if you're a muscle-bound man. I don't care if you're the best at your craft, at anything that you can do. Some of us just wake up naturally talented all the time. But I'm just telling you one thing right now. If you're not willing to jump, you are not ever going to get over the hump. You're never going to be in the elite. You're never going to be in the rarefied air. You're never going to get out of the status quo, let alone get out of the land of quo. I said, baby, I'm going to go for a run. And she said, good. We're going to go to the beach. And I said, you go to the beach. And I'll tell you what, I'll end up running my course and I'll take the 3 miles or 4 miles I was going to run and I'll end up on the beach. I'll actually finish on the beach and I can hang out with you at Pancake Beach with the kids. Oh, that would be great. And so I took off on my run. She took off in the Denali. She went to the beach. I took the long way around. And as I was coming to the beach, as I was going to enter the beach, I got across a bridge called the Cortez Bridge. And I remember the anticipation of almost being done with my run. I remember the anticipation of like, man, once I get across this bridge, I'm going to be with my wife. I'm going to be with my babies. I'm going to reunite my family. And as I was thinking about that coming up to the bridge, which is a drawbridge, right? I remember thinking all the things I kind of went through to create this babies and create this family and create this time and this moment and try to stay in shape and try to keep things moving. And I'd finally got my company kind of moving back around again. This was several years ago. And as I approached the bridge, I realized, man, I'm in a great place and I've got a great pace going on here. And if I could just get across this bridge, I'm on the island. And one thing happened to me as I looked up ahead, the cars were all stopped and backed up. And I had to get across that bridge. I didn't want to stop. I didn't want to not make the moment. I didn't want to be late. I didn't know what was going on. But as I knew and I realized as the cars were stopped on each side of the bridge, I could tell on the side I was getting ready to cross the bridge that the drawbridge had shut. And it had just shut. I could see the gates dropping. And I realized at that moment that if I could giddy up right now, I could actually get between those gates and I could get on that bridge and I could probably get to the other side of that bridge if I giddy up on it right now. And I decided at that moment that I was going at all costs to jump that bridge as it was raising almost to probably eat me, right? And as I weaved my way in through the cars and I started to come up to the gate and the drawbridge gate arms were down, I could hear the cars honking and yelling things. Get out of the way. It's a drawbridge, you asshole. The people were throwing, water was coming at me from every direction. It was crazy. And I'm thinking, man, I turned up the AC/DC. I turned up Thunderstruck. And I'm like, man, it's on like Donkey Kong. I'm going to let it rip. Potato chip. I'm going across that bridge. Nothing's stopping me. These people, these screaming, these lights, not even the bridge guard can stop me. And as I crossed underneath the gate bridge and meandered up, got on the bridge, and I started to leap and run and get my gate up and running. And as I got a little faster, I realized if I could just pick it up just a little bit, I could get there and just jump across this bridge as it was opening like the maw of a mouth of some type of crazy animal. And as I got a little closer, the gate guy was looking at me and he was going like this, waving his arm like, stop, the bridge is open. And I thought to myself, you gotta go. Commit. And I thought, my heart might just explode. Would my legs not deceive me? Would my mind not leave me? Would my heart not literally fail on me? I'm committing. I am going to jump to the other side. I don't care what it takes. And as I looked at that bridge even open up ever so slowly, ever so often, and ever so gingerly, I stepped my pace out. I realized if I could just do 3 more steps and put it right at this spot, I could leap. And as I got to the very edge of that bridge, I thought to myself, you've got to go. You've got to go. You've got to commit. Do not quit. Do not quit. The words that were said in the past were meant to last. And I jumped with every fiber in my body, and I leapt over a 3 feet cavern of bridge and landed on the other side in perfectly great stride. And as I came down the bridge gate and I came down on the other side, I never looked back. The horns were honking, the foul language was a-flying. As I came down on the other side of the bridge and smoked it right down the bridge and onto the other side, it was one of the most amazing feelings I ever heard in my life as the gate manager yelled at me, "You are crazy!" And I remember thinking to myself at that moment, I committed. My heart was about to explode. But one of the craziest things happened to me, I didn't even think about it, is I got to the other side and I made the leap of faith and I jumped to the other side and I was over there and I was cruising my way back to the other side of the bridge because I never wanted to not jump, because if I didn't jump, all the cars that were honking and calling me names would have been passing me by and saying loser, quitter, not committed. The same haters on the side that were telling me I was crazy and stupid and getting in their way and pushing against authority would have passed me and called me names like quitters. I knew you didn't have it in you. I knew you would stop. I knew you were that dude. They'd probably throw more water at me, but that's not what happened. I jumped to the other side, and as I'm cruising down to the other side, I realized to myself, this is good. This feels good. And the horns started honking as the cars I ran into them were honking at me. And I thought for a second, not again. But these horns had a different tone to them. These horns had a different tenor to them. These horns were almost celebratory. And as I got closer to the cars that were waiting for me on the other side, people were reaching out their windows and waving and trying to hand me water and saying, "You did it, you did it, you did it." They were rejoicing in the fact that I leapt from the other side. I persevered and my heart didn't explode. And I dropped on the other side and I was with them and they were celebrating with me. Isn't that how it is in life? People want to celebrate winners. People want to be on a winning team. People want to be a part of something that's fun, something that's daring, something that is almost dangerous, something that is just out of the land of quo. People love to see people step out of the land of quo. People love to see people commit. But it's funny how on the other side of the bridge, the side that you jump off of, that people are there castricizing you, calling you names, doing things that are saying to hold you back because they don't know how they could do it. Somehow, if they hold you back, they feel better about themselves. Somehow, if they find a way to keep you from jumping or entering the gate or entering the drawbridge or entering that a moment where your heart might explode, if they can just kind of tamper it down a little bit and just say, "Are you crazy? What are you doing? What are you thinking about? You shouldn't do that. Don't try that. Don't go there. Stay right in your land of quo. Stay right here with me where I'm comfortable. Stay right here where everything's just fine and dandy and well and safe. Because if you stay here, then I'll feel better about myself. But if you go out there and take a leap and take a dare and take a chance, then I'm going to be left back here and I'm going to feel less than I ever less than before, because then you have left the nest. You have left somewhere. You have left the land of quo. You've went out and started something on your own." Those people on the front side of the bridge are the ones that are holding you back. Those are the people that say they love you and care about you, but really inside they're saying, "I don't know that he should do that, because if he does that, then I'm going to have to do it or be compelled to do that, and I don't want to do that." And they're thinking more about themselves than you. But on the other side of the bridge, once you make the commitment, once you jump to the Tiki Hut, once you jump to Tiki Hut 2, once you jump on the stage, once you write your first book, your second book, and your third book, and then you create the donut capital of the world, and then you just keep going and going and going. That's the other side of the bridge. That's where people start to raise their hand and say, "I want my heart to explode too, Todd. I want to be on the other side of the bridge. I want to jump. Teach me how to jump." This whole wired of different things taking on a life of its own, and it's growing in so many ways, not only just here in America and all over the world. I want to encourage all of you listeners out there that it doesn't matter where you are in life. It doesn't matter if you're rich or you're poor. It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter anywhere, anyhow, any way in your life. You cannot exceed and succeed in other things if you're not willing to jump to the other side. If you're not willing to put yourself in a position to say, "My heart is about to explode." I don't have a secret sauce. I have a system of coaching. I have a system of raising children. I have a system of running businesses. I have a system of about doing everything from this show to running the donut capital of the world, to writing books. They're all in systems. There's no secret sauce other than you need to be willing to put yourself in a place that your heart might just explode. Now, it's a true story Jump to the Other Side is a true story. It's a wonderful story. It's a story about me early in my entrepreneurship where I was running to meet my family on the other side of the bridge, but the bridge started to open and I wanted to see my children and I wanted to see my wife, and I turned it into almost a death march. Because I said to myself that I must go across this bridge. I must be with my family. I must get through these cars. And no matter what it takes, no matter how far that leap is going to be, when that drawbridge opens, I am going to jump. And I think the story and the moral of the story here is that where are you at? Where are you making your heart about to explode? Any position that you put yourself in that place, I want to hear about it. Because if you're not in that position, you cannot be in a position where faith will work. Would I jump? Would my legs give out? Would my mind go weak? Would I be more rational? Would I not take the risk? Would I quit? God shows up when you put him in the crosshairs of some type of uncomfortable nature or risk in your life. And that's no different in your relationships or your business or your personal health. My heart was about to explode. Those are show up moments for God. Those are God's trials and tests that he wants us to put through him and with us. He wants us to give us signs, wonders, and miracles. And we hold God back so also too often because we stay in the place we call the land of quo. We don't get out of the status quo and we live and wallow in the land of quo. We don't put ourselves in a position that says, my heart is about to explode. In anticipation and in excitement at what's about to happen. Will the parachute open? Will my legs work? Will the plan and all the hard work pay off? I gotta know. I've got to know. I've got to know. God wrote words. He gave us the written word in the past so that it would last. He gave us this word of faith. He showed up for Moses. He had a following. He showed up for David because he had faith. In forgiveness, right? He showed up for Abraham and Sarah and gave them a family, right? He showed up for Lazarus. He raised the dead, right? These are the things that we got to talk about. These are the faith-filled moments that make our heart explode. We put ourselves in the position to leave the status quo, to leave the land of quo, and to jump to the other side. Now, listen, my friends, I'm not going to beat this up all day, every day, but I'm going to tell you this could be one of the most important things in my coaching lessons to you. My secret sauce is not all the systems. My secret sauce is that there are systems, and I can teach you to grow through aggregation or marginal gains through all these things that we're doing. But this really not the message this morning. The message this morning is faith. The message this morning is, will you put yourself in a position for your heart to about to explode? Will you trust the words of the past that were written to last? Put me before you, God said. I will deliver, man. I will give you what you asked. Knock on the door, baby. Come on, let's rip potato chip because it's on like Donkey Kong. God said, let me provide you signs, wonders, and miracles. And the only way you can do that is to step out of the land of quo and jump to the other side. It doesn't get any simpler than that. I'm not going to teach you how to do an NOI. I'm not going to give you all these formulas and business sides of things. I'm going to teach you personally, spiritually, and make you profitable over the mere idea of be willing to take on risk. How do you take on risk? You put faith in your life. You've got to trust somebody. You've got to trust something. You can't put God in an Excel spreadsheet all of the time. God is not the author of certainty. God is the author of faith. And my entrepreneur friends right now, I want you to understand that my job is to bring you the excitement of faith. I am your coach. I want to be your coach. I got so many great things coming from a book, from a movie, from trainings. We're getting ready to launch our entire virtual world. Amazing what I've got coming. But I need you willing to jump to the other side. I need you willing to take on the status quo. I need you willing to leave the land of quo. I need you to be willing to understand that the words that were written were past, were meant to last. I need you to understand that I'm here to bring you that message. I'm here to coach you through that message. I'm here to set up and show you systems. But more importantly, before we can do any of that, I've got to give you what I would call the secret sauce, and that is called faith. Don't take on a business or an entrepreneurial dream if you don't want to stretch yourself, because I'm telling you, the waters are murky at times. The waters are deep at times. The waters are challenging at times, and those bridges come all far too often. But if you're special enough to understand that you want your heart to explode at some point in your life, to feel that rapid rate of palpation of blood surging through your body and your heart and your mind and your entrepreneurial soul, and follow me in this journey of Wired Differently. Because we're separating ourselves from the rest of the world. We're misfits from the rest of the world. We're doing things differently. We're wired differently. God has created us differently. He's created us to look at the world in one way, and then he says, come on, let's jump across the bridge a different way. I'll carry you through the 3 feet or 4 feet that you have to go. I don't care how far it is. I just want you to know that I will jump with you. The trappings of this world are not our mindset. The trappings of this world are not our goals. The trappings of this world are things that are just kind of around us that we have to work our way through. I want your eyes focused on God. I want your eyes focused on the blood-surging idea that you're willing to jump to the other side of the bridge. I want you understanding that if your heart isn't ripping right now, and your heart isn't pounding right now, and your mind isn't surging with ideas of things that you can do to separate yourself from this world, to separate yourself from other people, to create your own damn marketing dominating position, right? I want you to understand that's what we do. That's how we separate ourselves. That's the mindset of us misfits in this Wired Differently nation. That's the mindset, the mission, the movement, and the ministry of what we're doing here right now. And there's nothing going to hold us back, because that's what we do when we get up in the morning and until we go to bed. And then the subconscious is driving like a freight train for the things that we want and the things that we need and that God is compelling us to do. We are going to jump to the other side. We are going to leap in faith. God bless you guys. Have a great day. Get to toddsaylor.com. Get my book, Your Will Be Done. It's amazing, amazing, amazing. And remember, the Tiki Hut Retreat is coming. I can't wait for you guys to get to the Tiki Hut Retreat. We got a flash sale coming on right now. $6.99, only 3 weeks left on that flash sale. Get it on like Donkey Kong. God bless you. I want you to jump to the other side. I need you to trust me that God will provide. I love you. I love you. Love you. Thank you for this show. Thank you for being my friends. And thank you for calling me coach, because you inspire me.